Bloodlace in Verona, Part 1. The Red Letters, Verona, 1783. The scent of jasmine clung to the air, refusing to be banished even by the rot that crept from the cellar walls of Palazzo Belladonna. It was a house too beautiful to be innocent, too silent to be empty. Every window seemed to weep condensation, as if the palazzo itself mourned something only it remembered. Countess Serafina Belladonna stood alone in the music room, her fingers brushing the spine of her late husband's violin. The bow still rested beside it, untouched for over a year. Her reflection in the cracked mirror above the fireplace trembled in the candlelight, dark hair braided in mourning, skin pale as pressed lilies, lips red like blood. They had said Ludovico drowned. His carriage had gone over the bridge during a storm. The Adige River swallowed horses, driver and count alike. No body was ever recovered, no final rites, just a funeral mass held over an empty casket and the slow collapse of Serafina's world. But then came the letters. The first arrived wrapped in crimson silk, slipped beneath her door at midnight. The wax seal bore Ludovico's family crest. Inside, a single page written in his hand. I am not where you buried me. Do not trust the priests. They sealed something beneath the chapel. Find the mask. At first, she thought it a cruel jest, but no one else knew the strange poem Ludovico had written on their wedding night. The same words etched along the border of the page. The ink was smeared with something that looked suspiciously like blood. She burned the letter. She tried to forget, but the second came 2 nights later. He waits in the hall of mirrors. Do not wear red. The eyes see color before they see signs. This time, she didn't destroy it. Serafina stopped attending Mass. She forbade her maids from opening the chapel. She sent her cousin Paolo to search the crypt, but he never returned. The household staff began to whisper. They saw her speaking to shadows. They claimed her candle never flickered, no matter how hard the wind howled through the palazzo. They spoke of footsteps on the marble at night, of music from the locked ballroom. On the 3rd night, masked figures appeared. At first, they stood at a distance, watching from beneath the orange trees in the courtyard, still as statues. Their masks were the kind worn during carnival, but grotesquely long noses, glassy eyes, smiles carved too wide. Always 5, always silent. One of the maids disappeared that night. Her body was never found. Just a trail of salt leading from her bed to the back gardens. Serafina wrote in her journal, "They are not of Verona. They are older. The letters are not from the dead. The dead do not bleed." She began to investigate. Behind a velvet curtain in the east wing, she found a hidden staircase, spiraling downward beneath the palazzo. At its base, a locked door, painted over with dozens of red X's. She touched one, and the paint peeled like old skin. Beneath it, the word confession. The key came to her 3 days later, mailed without a return address. Inside the box, alongside the key, was a blood-stained glove, her husband's. That night, the dreams returned. She was in the ballroom again, dancing alone. The chandeliers were draped in veils, the guests faceless, dressed in crimson and gold. From the shadows, Ludovico watched, maskless, his eyes weeping black tears. "You wore red," he whispered. "Now it sees you." She awoke with blood on her pillow, not her own. The staff fled the next day. Only the cook remained, deaf and near blind. She refused to speak, but traced crosses into flour every time she saw Serafina. Alone, Serafina opened the locked door. The air inside was still, cold, not dusty clean, as though someone had just left. The walls were lined with mirrors, every surface reflecting her face at impossible angles. At the center of the room, atop a velvet pedestal, lay a mask, black, glossy, shaped like the skull of a crow. She hesitated, then reached out. As her fingers touched it, the candles in the room ignited by themselves. Every mirror showed a different version of her. In some, she was smiling. In others, she was bleeding. One reached for her throat. She screamed, dropped the mask, but the reflection didn't stop moving. From behind her, a voice, "Now you see." She turned. No one, just the door slowly closing. The mirror to her left cracked, then shattered, and in the fragments she saw them, 5 masked figures, standing behind her. She fled back up the stairs, through the corridor, to her bedchamber. She locked the doors, piled furniture against them, lit every candle. But in her bed, resting on the sheets like a lover's gift, was a new letter. The seal was broken. The red lace is yours now. It knows your scent. It will come for you when the moon is high. Beneath the signature, a small red handprint. She wept. And far below, in the dark beneath Verona, something began to rise. To be continued in part 2, The Mask of the Crow.